Look at the screen, not me, okay? All right. We've heard for years, people we need to increase professionalism. Agents aren't professional or whatever. That means different things to everybody. So I thought he did a good job of framing that in here. And at the end, we'll see some kind of traits of professionalism, if you will. As you mentioned, we got to change. We got to change the way we do things because everything's changed, and some of us haven't changed along with it. We've got to stop waiting for someone else to fix it, particularly the government and that sort of thing. We've got to step up as an industry, as individuals, as a firm. We've got to step up and find our own fixes. Buyers are wanting different things now. They, because of the crazy market, they want you to be the market experts. They want you to know everything about, the real estate statistics and price changes and shifts in neighborhoods and school demographics, whatever. They want you to know everything about it. They want to know about their investment, and they need to hear the honest truth. If you buy now, this property could go down a little bit in value. You'll have to stay here 7 years or whatever, several years before you can see your gain. They need to hear that, whether it's they want to hear it or not, and they're looking for us to do it. The second bullet was the second most enlightening thing to me, and I'm still not sure on it. 82% were dissatisfied with your ability to negotiate.
Wow.
Not dissatisfied with you, but with your ability to negotiate. 82%, that's just a huge number. Let's say it's half right. It's still a big number. What that says is that they're, to me anyway, what it says is the market's really tough and they don't feel like they got a good deal or that they negotiated or they got screwed or whatever, and they're blaming you.
Don't both buyers and sellers think they either didn't get enough or paid too much?
Of course. And I think that's accentuated with this crazy market.
My question is, did he take he asked the same question 5 years ago?
Mm-hmm. This is, I believe, from a California study, a big, huge study with thousands of responses.
But it's only taken place recently. What I'm saying is, historically speaking, I think you get a higher percentage back in 05 and 03.
You may have.
I really think this has to do with the short sale foreclosure scenario too, that people are so frustrated that they're not settling. Even if you told them the right things, told them it was going to be several months, the fact that they haven't been able to get that house or they lost the house or whatever, nothing that you did outside of your control. I think it has a lot to do with that.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say, a lot of times buyers come along when a house has been reduced maybe 4 or 5 times and it's slashed to rock bottom, even with a short sale, and they still maybe are thinking, I can get so much off. They're looking at it's a buyer's market. And if they're buying when the house is finally ready to be given away,
right,
they're not getting the biggest bargain in their minds.
Mm-hmm. This quote kind of sums up his lecture on this one. They're looking for a lot from you guys, and we hear it all the time. I'm working harder now than I ever did because all these things take time. All these things that the buyers are now, consumers are now looking for you to deliver. They all take time, so you're having to work harder to service them at this point. These are a few solutions he has come up with to suggest to you. The unique selling point was interesting. A lot of people call it, become the mayor of Forest Lakes, for instance. That's a term that is used on the internet sometimes, where it means you own that neighborhood, you become the leading authority in that neighborhood, or maybe it's Peter Sherman comes to mind. He's the mayor of bed and breakfasts or something to that effect. So if you're selling a bed and breakfast, maybe Peter's the one you call. Connecting with the consumers and that sort of thing. Okay. Won't go into this too much. We mentioned realtor type of thing. Houston, which is the largest MLS in the country, has been doing it for a year now. And originally it was not well embraced by the members. So they kept everything offline, so to speak, and you got to look at your ratings before they were put out on the internet. And lo and behold, the ratings were really good, and so then people started saying, hey, we need to publish this stuff. Why are we holding back? Totally changed, and I think we would find the same thing here, is that the ratings you would get would be mostly good. They've had, 26,000 surveys, and it's a lot of positive stuff. Only 200 people out of their 40,000 members have opted out of the program. That's to me amazing. And these are the characteristics he sees in professionalism. I thought that was a good takeaway for you, for you to measure up yourself and see how you're doing with those things. Got 3 more to go, so we're going to keep moving. Franchises. I think this was an interesting one for us because we are not necessarily heavily dominated by franchises. I mean, this firm's a living proof of that. We have some real strong independent firms here in town, and not a lot of really strong franchises. Most markets have that, and I've always said, boy, if a big franchise ever bought, Real Estate 3 or whatever, that would be a huge change to our marketplace. And his point is, franchises are the most, one of the top 3 most impactful things in the real estate industry since World War II. The others being the MLS and the internet. So he ranks franchises up there with the internet and MLS.
Major League Soccer, is that high?
Yeah, it's a big soccer community. So that's how important he sees franchises, and he's seen a lot of changes. We had back in '95, we had the whole HFS thing where they basically took franchises and put them on steroids and did all sorts of crazy stuff, and became a real player in that. The business model evolution. Every time somebody came up with a new business model, they said, hey, that's a great idea, let's franchise it. And they sold franchises for it. So we had an explosion of franchises out there, and there's way too many right now. And what the trend he sees is a lot of those either going away or consolidating with others. There's been some players that have risen up, like Better Homes and Gardens, that have kind of come out of the dirt. I mean, they used to be around, and then it kind of went dormant. And now they're coming back real strong. So here's some examples of some of the big transactions that happened last year that he documented in the franchise world. There's a categories of franchising. And this is kind of one of the key questions right now, is a lot of the franchises are cutting back on services because guess what? They're hurting too with the market, and they're cutting back, and then people are saying, wait a minute, why am I a member? Why am I paying these fees to you if you're cutting back my services? So it makes a lot of sense. So there's a lot of transition going on with